Disclaimer: the following video is not an endorsement of any career path, institute, or company. The intention of the video is to bring personal experiences of B School students to help MBA aspirants understand their journey. The views and opinions expressed in the interview are solely those of the individuals.
During the market visits, we went to pubs, clubs, and all, which were very different experience for me.
Welcome back to Short Tutor, where we break down business fundamentals into easy to understand concept. Today, we are here with another episode of MBA to Corporate. This series is primarily aimed for MBA aspirants to get their curious doubts cleared from IIM alums who has traversed the IIM MBA journey. And today, we have Miss Sandra Mary Jacob, who is our guest. She has done her MBA from IIM Mumbai and graduated in the year 2025. She has done her internship from Pernod Ricard, later securing a full-time role. Hi, Sandra.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm also doing well. What are you up to these days, Sandra?
So these days I am exploring fitness. I am going for badminton and jogging, and I am exploring Mumbai as we are leaving the city within 2 months.
Great, great. I think I should take some pointers from you. So, Sandra, I would like to know. When I went through your bio in LinkedIn, I was able to notice that you did your undergrad at IIT and later having almost 2 years of work ex at corporate. So, what was your experience during this time, and what ultimately led you to do an MBA from an IIM?
So I completed my BTech in electrical engineering from IIT, and then I ended up working as a senior software engineer in LTI-Mindtree. So my project basically was there to manage a project, AML project, and do the process automation. So here my role was as a project manager, but the strategic decision making and leadership was excluded for me. So I wanted to explore further into that, how the decision making and leadership decide what project and how it is being done. So for that I decided to pursue an MBA, and which ended up in IIM Mumbai.
Oh, that's great, Sandra. Having done your undergrad from one of the premium institutes of this country and then later working in corporate for almost 2 years, I think it would have been easy for you, the transition from corporate to IIM. Was it?
No, absolutely not. So, first 3 months or first few months were very hectic for me as well. Like we were bombarded with a lot of activities, be it academics, then networking, study groups, preparing for placements. All these were coming together while adapting to the new city as well. So, how I cope up with that was that like we have to prioritize between our academics and then placements, then a strong support from seniors for preparing the CV, and from peers as well was there. So this all helped me go through that few months.
Yeah, that's wonderful. You mentioned about study groups, right? So I'm curious, what are these study groups and how are they functioning?
So entire batch was asked to make form groups, and we formed groups which involved diverse people from diverse backgrounds, like freshers as well as work experienced people. And we met daily. We had daily discussions on how to prepare the interview introductions, consulting case discussions, and it also helped us stay motivated during that hectic time.
So basically, Sandra, these were a group of people who had your back during the entire process.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that's great. I think I have a general idea about how did you prepare for SIP. I'm curious, is there an event or a question during the SIP interview process that stood out for you?
Actually, there was. So, as you know about my bio, I did my electrical engineering from IIT. Then I switched to an IT company, and then now I'm doing an MBA. So, one company stressed upon this journey, and at that point of time, I was not able to give them a convincing reply. But later, I worked upon it.
Oh, that's great. I think this is a great takeaway for our viewers. If you're having a diverse background as Sandra's, then this is an expected question during the SIP interview process. Sandra, moving on to the next question, I would like to know about the interview process and the experience that you had with Pernod Ricard. How were you able to convert it?
Okay. So the interview process had 2 levels. One is the resume shortlist and the interview. The interview duration was almost 20 to 25 minutes, and it was scheduled at 3:30 a.m. in the morning. And the interview experience, the interview started with general introductions, why MBA, why Pernod Ricard, why the Alco beverage industry, and they also asked few questions from my CV and some basic supply chain questions, and how I think I cracked that interview. I researched, first of all, I researched about the company as well as the industry. And while answering the most of the questions, I tried to think like what could I add value as an person from IT background to their challenges to or to the processes what they are doing. So this is one thing I added something extra. And at the end they will be asking if do you have any questions. So at that time, since I had researched about the company, I found that there was a data analytics tool which they had recently launched for their sales and marketing. So I asked about that. So this can be a brownie point because they will understand that you have researched about their company and about you have gone through their website. So this will be a brownie point for you. And finally, be confident throughout the interview and have a smile while you are answering the question.
Sandra, let's skip to April 2024 when you joined Pernod Ricard as an intern. How was the transition? And I would like to also know about the project that you received and the impact that you were able to make, which ultimately led to a full-time role.
Okay, so the onboarding was very smooth. We had a 3 days orientation where I got the basic understanding of the company and the different functions. Then we had a one-on-one interaction with our mentor and a manager where the project was introduced to me. So initially I was a bit overwhelmed whether I would be able to complete the project in 2 months. Then I decided to put my best effort to complete it. So I had 2 projects. First project was to develop training modules for the plant managers as well as the shop floor employees. The second project was to improve the dispatch. Then moving on to how I cracked the PPO. So I am not sure whether these are the actual reasons, but the few things which I did which could have made a difference, like during the initial orientation, they mentioned a few things which they are looking for in a candidate to offer the PPO. So one thing was that they while proposing a solution, they wanted us to implement the solution and show the results. Luckily I was able to do that. And another one was that we should not just sit at the desk or table and but we have to interact with our co-workers and understand the process. So I almost interacted with 30 people from the company, and whose experience count up to 300 years. And I also traveled to a lot of plants for understanding the different processes, for which I also got the award of connecting beyond the borders. And finally, for the presentation, when you have to include all the things which you have done during your 2 months, even the smallest bit.
Sandra, based on what you said, I feel like you are able to indeed meet the expectations, right? Do you think? So, Sandra, what is something that you like about Pernod Ricard?
So initially during the onboarding, they had given us goodies. Then all the stays during the travel were all in 4-star hotels. And during the market visits, we went to pubs, clubs and all, which were very different experience for me.
Yes, I think that is indeed a unique experience.
Yeah.
So, Sandra, when you were at Pernod Ricard, you were working in the operations domain. I would like to know, were there interns from other domain as well?
Yeah, there were interns from other domains. Apart from finance, there were interns from sales, marketing, then supply chain, procurement, and from HR as well. And we used to interact during the lunch and the snack times and all, and we used to discuss about the progress of our projects and all.
Yeah. Sandra, when you were interning at Pernod Ricard, you were doing it in the operations domain, which is predominantly handled by men. As a woman, what was your experience? Were you facing any difficulties as such?
So there was no much of difficulties as such, but as I mentioned, the plants, or I had to visit lot of plants, and these were all located in remote places. So my parents were a bit concerned about the travel and safety aspect of it, but the company was very supportive, and they used to make travel arrangements whenever there was a requirement.
Okay, Sandra. And we'll be moving on to the last question that we'll be asking Sandra. So, Sandra, I would like to know what are some of the few advices that you would give yourself if you are joining a B school right now?
So if I am joining a B school right now, I would advise myself to be more proactive in networking. There are a lot of opportunities where you can interact with your peers, seniors, and as well as you can also interact with their IIMs and industry leaders, especially during the leadership talks and the conclaves. I was a bit shy during that time and didn't use up the opportunities, but I would advise advise myself to be more proactive in that.
Great. I think that is some good advice, Sandra. And that's it, guys. We'll be wrapping up today's episode. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you for spending your time and sharing your experience. I think most of you might have gotten the insight that you require from this video, especially if you have worked in an IT sector and share the similar profile as Sandra's. If you have more queries, feel free to post the queries in the comment section and we'll be addressing them. And we'll be also including Sandra's LinkedIn ID in the description box. You can connect with her. Share this video to your friends who's about to start their MBA journey. Like the video and subscribe to Short Tutor to watch more such content.